There's levels to the shit.
Yo,
We're in
back
the building.
again. Back again, guys. What's going on, everybody? Back with the levels. Dan, are you locked in, bro?
I'm here.
Wicked. Yeah, man was looking like a literal shadow, man. Grinwell just.
Bro, don't watch the lighting, man. It was just one of them things, man. But,
What's
you know,
good,
we got the... I'm all right. It's been a good Monday.
It's been a good Monday, yeah, man. After the ordeal yesterday, man. I'm just glad that we never had
You know, like I said, it's just when you get like a sequence of events, you gotta let them pass.
100%.
Like when they hit, it's like, okay, cool. That's one. You count the next one, you're like, okay, that's two.
Yeah.
You turn another cheek, you're like, all right, cool, big man, you knocked me out. But I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna keep rolling. It was one of them days. I was like, oh man, like, you know when you just get it sometimes, like your day just starts going from
bad to worse.
From bad to worse, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
And then instead of like just absorbing it and just going nuts, I just said, you know what? Whatever this is, I'm gonna ride it out, man.
Hold this one, literally what it was.
Yeah.
Yo, all right, cool. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Back with the Lev3ls Show. Myself, Cases, Dan Mason, and who else we got in the building tonight setting the levels? Please introduce yourself, sir.
You got Kwame. I'm here from Taylor Different. No quite for quite some time. You mentioned I'm at DJ Cases. My bad. I know it's quite some time.
Call him by the government, man.
Allow it. Dan don't even know the real government.
Hey.
He knows the sub-government. He knows the real one.
The old school.
No, exactly. Them ones you just have to be like, nah. We're not going that deep today. Fair enough. Anyways, yeah. So you come with your brand Taylor Different. A little bit about Taylor Different, please.
All right. So Taylor Different was like that. You know what? It was inspired by you. You know, by that Cases. It was inspired by one of your events. There was one event you had that you wanted us to come in a kaftan, and these times, big brother, I didn't know no African designers in London, so I was like, yo,
I'm gonna. The event that he's talking about was my wedding. I'm divorced now, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about when I was getting married. But yeah, no. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I didn't want to go into those details in it, but fair enough, you shared that. So yeah,
100 man, is what it is.
So
these things happen.
These things do happen. I've had my own events, so we move. So you asked us to come in the African kaftan. These times I didn't know nobody that did it in London, so I was like, all right, cool. Obviously the event came and went, and then it was like, what can I like? So then I started thinking, you know what? There's obviously African designers out here, but like I don't know them. When you was asking the group, nobody else knew them in the chat. So it was like, what can be done about that? So it's just basically kind of started from there. Then procrastination for a little bit, thinking, and then you decided, you know what? Let me start a page showcasing like different African designers, different black people, different black men's designers, and they're kind of taken off from there. That's been about 2.5 years now. And it's going bit by bit.
Yeah, and the maddest thing is, I mean, at the time I started something quite similar. Not quite similar. Mine was specifically to do with weddings, and mine was cultural weddings. Actually, was something called Culture Union. I might pick it back up. But we'll see. And the thing with repost Instagrams as well is that it's hard to gain a lot of traction sometimes. But you've done an amazing job. You really searched high and low for some of the people that you've actually put on your page. I mean, what's the kind of process behind it? Like, how
I mean, it's just
go about it.
It's just like saving. It's like saving like different posts. Like when I started doing it, there was no system in it. It was just literally I'll go onto IG, look at like different designers that I started following, and like there'd be different pages that do similar stuff, and so you kind of get like a bit more idea from them and like the different designers that's in there. And then obviously you see a piece, but then it's like, who's the designer behind this? Because for me, the whole thing was, it looks nice, but who made it? Like, who designed it? Because at the end of the day, like, it's good to see, nice things, but at the same time, I want to show people, you can get it from this person. This is the actual designer behind it. So it's like, all right, cool, I've seen this piece, but who made it? And I'm looking around, I can't find it, so then I can't repost it. And so, it was like, just taking time to understand how IG works as well, how the algorithm works and all that kind of stuff there. So it's been a learning process. It's been a learning process for sure. But it's just definitely about like, and then for example, recently started to do like more design, like for example, more streetwear stuff, and like seeing how the interaction with that and engagement with that is, and then comparing it to like the African traditional stuff and all like suits and stuff like that. So it's been a process. It's been a process. I'll say that for sure.
It has. I think you've attacked it well. I mean, I think Dan's lucky because from the Caribbean you don't have these kind of things in it. So sometimes it's such a struggle, isn't it? Yeah, I'm shooting for the Caribbean people. I don't care.
That went straight for me,
No, I'm not going for you. This is slightly off topic, but on topic as to what we normally do anyway. Do you sometimes wish the Caribbean had a tradition or kept traditions like the Africans have? To some way,
we do. We
you
have.
guys are predominantly.
We've got a ton of traditions that.
I mean, traditions as in your clothing.
So when you say our clothing, there's a lot of different things that we do wear. It looks similar to what you guys wear.
What wife beaters, bro?
Yeah, this guy. This guy. So I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I'm joking.
Anyone listening, do not, and I repeat, do not judge Caribbean people based on the JAs. Okay, do not. Yeah, please. Give us the time of day and understand there's over 2,000 islands down there. It's a lot of people with a lot of different traditions.
2,000 islands?
Go check it out. There's a lot of islands down there.
Family, that's news to me for real. 2,000.
Islands, bro.
Geography exam, bro.
So some of them aren't actually. There's not a lot of people on them, or there might not be people on them at all. I know, like where I come from, there's an island just full of animals. There's no one on there. So,
okay.
But what I'm trying to say is, there's a ton of culture down there, and no, I don't regret us not having similar styles to African folks. I respect it. It's actually it. That makes me proud knowing that is partly my heritage, just not directly from the generation that's still living. But we do have our own traditions and stuff, and there's a lot of different stuff that obviously we don't see on TV and just out there. You see what I'm trying to say? But
I understand. What island are you from?
I'm from Montserrat.
Oh, Montserrat. Okay, Montserrat. All right, cool.
Indeed, this guy. Yes, he knows. Ha. See, sis? I didn't have to explain. You know what usually happens? You have to explain. So you say, so boom, Antigua. And then you have to be like, next to Antigua, there's me. If you look to the left and over, it's all long. So at least someone knows. It's calm.
Montserrat, it's on the 4 islands, isn't it? So it's like, there's not many of you guys. There's not many of you guys. Because you're a rarity.
But we get about. Put it that way. You know what I mean?
I heard.
International, you know what I mean?
See, there's where he must be painted with the same brushes as JAs, yeah?
Listen, genuinely though, there's a lot down there that I think a lot of people don't know about. From north to south, the whole thing is one mesh of cultures, languages, all kinds of different things. So,
is your national dish like goat water or something like that?
Don't worry about all of that. That's on the Lev3ls platform, wow. Wow.
Let me just hear a little quick Google, see what he's talking about.
He's just trying to say. No, to be honest,
it's got water. I swear down it is.
No, I don't think it is, to be fair. But there is a dish like that, yeah.
What managed
What's
water
it
or?
like? Is it like
No, it's listen, it's to put it in sort of like it's like a soup.
Oh,
Okay.
that makes sense. But it's probably
Alright.
made out of like not goat maize, but it's like
It's like a
how
soup.
can I describe it? Yeah, I can, but
Mhm.
it must have involved goat in some way for it to be called goat.
100%. Like those bad boys get eaten 100%. Don't get twisted. Don't bring
Okay,
your goat round me. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, but it's legit. Like that is it's a dish. It is a dish. You get like
no,
a little slice of bread with it. You dip the bread in it.
hard dough bread
I mean,
or just
mean-
according to Google, this is your national dish, isn't it? According to Google, this is your national dish. So,
Almost.
really?
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. From my point of view, so growing up, I had a lot of Ghanaian friends. Yeah, a lot of Nigerian friends.
mhm.
And when I went to my Ghanaian friend's house and I saw a man slapping the kenke, I said, "Big man, what is this?
Did you?
And why are you eating?
So my man's sending the artillery back.
Why are you
Yeah,
eating with your
no, they're not.
fingers, big man? And why? Like, just
See,
why?"
they're not just faithful. They're not just faithful either as well, right? See
young
this
hands
right here.
I said, "Bro, like, what, you couldn't collect a knife and fork from no?"
Nah, bro.
Wow.
No,
Shots of their
no, listen, I tell you what. I think it's I can't remember what I was listening to, but like apparently that there's like a connection between enjoying food when you eat it with your hands.
There is.
It's this whole European thing of eating with like a knife and fork is something that was kind of placed in. Do you know what I mean? Like we never used to do that. They used to. I think you enjoy food a little bit more when it's just.
To be honest with you, all the
Yeah.
foods that you really love, like chicken wings, you can't eat chicken wings with a knife and fork.
Listen, I've seen people try. I've
Nah,
seen
you can't
people
do it,
try.
Yeah,
Right?
you've
They
seen
should
them
stop that.
try and horribly
They should
fail.
stop that. They should stop that.
And it's upsetting when I see a man leave hella chicken, and I'm like, you're upsetting the mood right now with like, do you know what I mean, with them chicken moves? But
You're letting the team down. You're letting the team down.
yeah, listen, you got anyone that eats a chicken like chicken wings with a knife and fork is suspect. Listen,
Nah, it's not legit. It's not
no,
legit.
it's not the one. But anyway, we're getting off topic, but let's talk about
we always
flipping
do.
national
Goat
dishes and all
water.
that.
Sorry,
I'm not trying to
that's
get
my
into
bad.
that Ghana or Africa
I'm not
versus Caribbean game
I
because
genuinely wanted to know more, bro.
it's been something that, listen, I've had it since I was a child. It's just been me. So in my group of friends, it was just me and my cuz that's from Barbados. And it was just a backup.
Holding them pelters.
And we were holding it down, bro. Like we were holding it down.
Well done, you guys. But you guys were in fashion back then anyway, so it's all right.
But we've been in fashion. We're always in fashion. We stay in fashion.
It's the African brothers now, man.
You're a fool.
Anyway, let's go back onto topic. Anyway, Kwame, so what's it called? So
Look,
sorry.
listen, we're not doing this. If this is the case, get another Caribbean brother on. We make it a 4-man screen. Yeah, I'm not out here. You know what I mean? Let's do the 2-on-2 in it. You know what I mean? I'm not getting thrown in there.
I can't do this by myself.
You can't firm the pelters. That's gonna
It's a Monday night. I've been gym. Give me a chance, man. Shit.
Fair enough.
We'll get on to gym later. Qualms. So
yeah.
I mean, with Taylor different then. So you said you started about 2 years ago now. And like, what kind of connections and what kind of traction or gains have you made with regards to that? And are they to the standard or the levels that you expected them to reach?
I mean, so like obviously starting off anything is it was kind of slow. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of slow, but then it was like being consistent and keep like connecting. And like last summer, I was doing like lives with some of the tailors and stuff of that sort. So it helped like grow the brand, it helped grow the platform. And it's been interesting because also it's like then when you start this up, then you have people coming to your DMs and asking you, can I send you my designs, or can you give me jobs, or can you like they'll ask people coming, like you have customers asking you, how do I order this or a piece, or where do I need to go to order this? And it's like, So when it comes to that, that's where I feel like a lot of things are lacking.
On
When
your
it comes to
side,
like no, I mean for like the e-commerce of like some of the tailors and some of the designers, where it's like the process to order a piece is not straightforward. It's like you got to send somebody a DM, and then you got to send like money through like Western Union or something like that. And it's like you don't need to do this. Like if you're in the UK, you shouldn't have to like if, for example, you're going to order like a suit for somebody. You wouldn't really expect them to now tell you, send me, transfer the money to my account. Like that feels like a bit archaic, isn't it? But it's still some of the modes in which some people are operating with. So it's like when it comes to that, that's where I feel like things need to be improved upon. It's also like a lot of these guys their only outlet is Instagram. So where I think people's Instagrams go down, or where they've like been for whatever reason their account's been hacked or whatnot, then it's like I have to start from scratch, and it's like I don't have anything anywhere else, kind of thing. So that's where I've seen that there's issues, because it's like if you're only on Instagram and Instagram goes down for you now, then that's your business is done. I mean, obviously for a lot of these guys, they have physical storefronts, but at the same time, this is where you have, obviously with COVID, nobody's traveling anywhere, so you can't really visit these stores like you could in the past. So that's where I've seen like a lot of things could be improved upon.
Okay. Are you dealing mainly with people from the African continent, or literally? Well, that
All over,
problem in
bro.
particular is literally all over. It's not specific to one
All
region.
over. Yeah, it's all over. So I got like a lot of the people that follow me are like based in Ghana, Nigeria, but then I have a lot of people that follow me from Canada, from the US, and UK. So it's not just one place. It's not. I can't say it's just like obviously when it comes to African designs, Nigeria is a big powerhouse, and when it comes to that fashion, Nigeria is really important in that regard. But it's not just there.
Yeah. Okay, but then if you've seen this space, are you working on anything to like kind of fill that void?
That's where like I'm looking to take the business to now. That's where it's like I'm looking to take a difference. So make it a lot easier for people to purchase pieces, rather than and like making the whole process a lot more streamlined. And also, it's like if you send money to my account, there's no kind of consumer protection for you, innit? Like there's no.
Well, that's when you have to start implementing PayPal, innit? Rather than
stuff of that sort. But then there's also
just an archaic method, bruv. Like
but PayPal's not available in Africa, innit? So certain regions not available.
Later, I forgot. Nigeria budged it for everybody, bruv. They budged it for everybody. I'm joking. Sorry, my Nigerians who are watching.
These guys that come after you, not me, man.
They will.
Last
time, remember we had a Nigerian on. When we had a Nigerian on and we said something. Remember that juju that was spun on her quickly? He was quick. Listen, she said something about what's it called? Yoruba demons or something like that.
Yeah, man.
See, look, my camera's gone. My camera's gone. The man heard it.
I say nothing about Nigerians ever. Ever. Straight up. I don't want no smoke, bro. Like from when I was younger, like my Nigerian friends, they told me about all of the judge. I said, I'm good over here, bro.
I said all the judge,
Nope.
Nah.
Straight up, no. Man's talking about people getting turned into chickens, and I said, huh? Whoa. whoa. I said, yeez. Nah, in all honesty, I don't have anything bad to say about my African brothers, man. It's just one of them things. I'm loving the fact that Africa's on the rise, man, and it has been for some time now. I think I said this before actually in another podcast, but it's been on the rise for some time, and I think with the help of social media, because you got to understand that I think like it must help you as well, because before this, like people's idea, if you didn't know an African, right, people's idea of what Africa was just a dodgy idea.
Very warped, yeah.
Like I don't know where they got it from, whether it's the media or just like it was just random. But bro, like there's some places, amazing places in Africa. The whole continent is just a beautiful place, and I think in part, I think parts of society have tried to keep it on the wraps for time, but you can't stop it when there's something as powerful as the internet.
No.
There is zero chance of that like happening in that. But it's a good time for Africa, man. It's a really good time.
I just followed that a pal of mine. Hopefully, he's going to jump in the comments in a minute. There's a lot of marketing. He has a lot of really good facts and figures with regards to e-commerce and the whole kind of system in Africa with regards to buying and selling kind of aspect, like kind of Amazon ways. They've got a specific thing over there. I'm sure if he jumps in, he'll see all of it. But I definitely think it's something that Palms you should look into because it's a huge hole in Africa. Africa is so disjointed still.
No, but it's also for us here.
Huh?
It's also for us here. Like a lot of people, like I have people that want to get stuff made for them here, especially now where you have like weddings and stuff happening again. People want to have those kind of, let's say, if you want to have an abada done, you want to have it. You want to have it done like nicely. You want to have it so it fits properly. Like a lot of the times, what we used to have when we were growing up was like you get the piece, it fit you, but then the neck was like trying to kill you, like trying to strangle you. So it's, but you can't.
You can't. But so, for example, like us three here, yeah, we're kind of big guys, all wide back, yeah. How would then, for example, if we come on to tailor different and we wanted a kaftan, yeah, how are we gonna get those measurements across?
I mean, so there's different ways. So like now, because what I've been looking at recently is like you got like, for example, there's some companies that use an algorithm. So you tell them certain parts about you, and maybe you upload your picture to there as well, and then they can get your fit from there. Also, it's like, for example, you wear like we wear clothing in it, so you already kind of have an idea about the type already. So it's not like you're completely going out of the blue, but then you might also want, like for example, Kofi loves his stuff extra long for whatever reason, but he loves his stuff extra long. So
I do.
So then, if you want that kind of adjustment made, then that's something that can be done for you as well.
This is my power.
Oh, Jimmy, yeah, I've seen that one.
But I mean, this is one of them, as he pointed out. But how well connected are they? Like, it's a question of.
I mean, they started well. I know that they started well, but then they kind of fell back because one of the biggest issues is that last mile delivery. It's getting like a lot of people live remotely as well, which is now a big problem. So that it's like if you live in the middle of the village somewhere, like getting something delivered to you is long. Like a lot of places don't have like you don't have the same kind of postal system that you have here.
For real. I mean, Chang, if you could just throw the figures of what the kind of potential e-commerce value of the African market is, that'll be wonderful because it's something astronomical. And like you were saying before, Africa's on the rise, but I still think there's a lot of holes that we're missing and that we need to plug properly still. And again, but I mean, like, but what would your site? You said you're trying to knit things together, but how else could you like streamline it a bit more?
In terms of what? Like, what regards?
In terms of, well, in fact, you just brought the point. I was going to say infrastructure. The infrastructure in Africa is tough. Yeah, I mean, are you looking to do it for here or in Africa?
I mean, so for me, most of it depends. I'm looking at, because first of all, I'm looking to do like so it can be sent to the West. That's the first point. But then it's like either I can have it made on the continent and then have it shipped across, or I can talk with the designers and try to do some sort of licensing so that I use their designs, but then I make it myself and I'd have it made here or in the UK, for example. But it's something that's basically what I'm looking at, because at this current step, it's like, for example, I did a giveaway when I got to 10K, and in that giveaway, thank you. The person who won was based in Nigeria. The designer that was making it was in Ghana. It took like three weeks for it to get made, shipped, and delivered to the consumer. Now, for me, 3 weeks. I thought that's too long.
Okay.
I feel that's too long. That's
How
just my
long?
point of view.
How long do you want them to take? Especially if you want them to take care. If you want to keep the quality high.
If for me, for example, to get it done, it shouldn't take more than a few days. I think 2-3 days max. Especially if you have all the materials on deck already, then it shouldn't take that long.
But that's if you've talked to them and said, "Yo, this is what I want. You need to have this kind of time frame for it." And if they then take 3 weeks, then I can understand. But it's more of a case that they're gonna have customers now,
Yeah, of course,
and then you're
of
gonna
course.
slap
But
them
it
and say,
wasn't.
"Yo, this is the winner."
No, I hear that. But for me, in that 3 weeks, it was also like a lot of me chasing up and saying, I need what's going on kind of thing. It was not a very straightforward 3 weeks. It was a lot of okay, cool, what's going on here? What's going on this point? What's going on that point? So it was,
Is this where
and
we
also.
employ the Caribbean mentality of customer service?
Yo,
Listen, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I really don't know.
yo, you man are trying to get in.
No.
Fire, baby.
This is a
You lot are trying to go. Listen. If we got terrible customer service, I don't even know what you man got in Africa, fam. Like real talk.
Wow.
I don't know what you lot got down there. Listen, we're not doing it. Let's just not do it. Let's get back to the topic. And like leave my people alone, bro.
Well, that's the last shot. That's the last shot. I promise.
Yeah, for now.
He says that now. I guess I don't believe it, but fair enough. All right,
Man just went out of the blue, you know, like, like I just shot man up.
I was completely oblivious, just walking across the street, and then boom, got hit with a shot.
Smack.
You're the ones. I'm just crossing the road.
I'm
pow.
sorry.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I apologize. All right, cool, sorry. You were
what
saying
I was actually gonna say was, obviously with like with the stuff that you do, Kwame, do you ever see sort of like those kind of designs or that style making it onto sort of like a British high street or sort of like a French high street or something like that? Given that there's a lot of second gen people now in these countries as well, so you think there's going to be that much of a design? So I mean, that much of a demand for it, where it becomes sort of like very common and very like, you know what I mean, high demand.
I can't say. Reason for that is, I mean, Africa, yes, is becoming a lot more popular, but I mean, you know what? I would say this much: for some of the small subtle stuff, I can. There's some stuff which is like you wouldn't really know where it's come from exactly. There's some colors though. There's some kind of like so, and also it's like, for example, I was speaking to one designer and talking about like if he sees that certain designs becoming something that people would wear to work, like a suit almost, and it's like yes, but then it's also it will be a bridge to cross in it, and I don't know if people are ready yet. So I think like it on the high street maybe, but it's like maybe not very often because there is a big second generation of the diaspora here, but at the same time it's a very small percentage of the population. It's not a large percentage. But, I mean, it's like I think what black people in the UK are like 3%, and then of that it's like maybe half is like African. I'm not sure what the exact percentage breakdown is, but it's like I don't know. I think it's more for me at the moment. Also, it's like high street in general was having problems. There's a lot of problems in the high street in regards to people being able to pay rent, all that kind of stuff there. So the high street in general is having problems. And so it's like I prefer to stick online. If, for example, you have like maybe a showroom or somewhere where you need to just do fittings, then that's it. Then that's cool. But it's like the high street in general, like having like a shop like next door, Marks and Spencer's, I don't see that happening.
I think those kind of old English mega retail stores are gonna really fade out quite soon. I mean, Topshop getting bought up by ASOS and Debenhams getting bought out by Boohoo. Well, mad shocks to the
Imagine
system.
Boohoo. If you had said to me when Boohoo got up and running, they were going to buy Debenhams, shut your mouth, get out of here.
You'd have thought that person's mad.
Yeah, but like we're in a position where that's reality now.
Yeah.
To be fair though, like I don't think anyone goes to the high street. I know I obviously posed the question with the high street and stuff, but that was just to see sort of like your view on things in terms of like the fashion coming out of the continent. I do think that like it's come a long way. I think in the last 20 years or so, it's because before when I was young, dudes were like, they say, "Yo, where you from?" I'm from the Caribbean, even though I know this guy, he's from Cameroon and he's lying. He's lying. He's like, I'm like,
maybe some months, right? You never know.
No, you never. But it was just one of them. So people are now a lot more like proud of where they're from and representing like all that kind of stuff. So there's been a lot of work and it's come a long way. So I'm just thinking, how long would it actually take for us to then be in a position where this stuff is more accessible? Obviously, given that you're just saying like the whole infrastructure and the e-commerce side of it is difficult at the moment. Like, how long do you think it's going to take for it to become more of like an accessible thing, where like someone like just in the UK or wherever, where it's just like you could just get hold of it quicker. Like say you're going to an event next week and it's like sort of like it's a Ghanaian event and everybody has to dress in a certain attire, whatever. Like where you said you had to send something to someone and it took 3 weeks. How long do you think until we get that process down to like a much more robust and
right? Like even now we can do it where it's like you can probably do something within a few days in the UK. Whether it's cost effective to do it that way, that's where it's like you got to now think about it, because obviously if you're all doing it in the UK, you're paying a UK tailor to make the piece. You're paying for UK prices for the materials, and so therefore it's just more cost. It's more expensive. And so maybe the price point will have to change a bit to make it done like in the UK. Like, for example, if you need something done within a week, in comparison to if you have like 3 weeks, then it's like, okay, cool, you got 3 weeks, I can get done in Africa. Or if if you need it within a week, the price point will probably be different because I need to be done here. And so that's just where the difference would probably come.
But surely everybody may concern still within all of this is the quality.
What's that? Sure, I didn't hear.
Huh?
What you say?
I said, surely everybody's concern will be more about the quality rather than the length of time it takes.
I mean, it depends on when you need it, innit? So, for example, when you was your wedding, like I had like 2 weeks to get, and it was like
I never gave you 2 weeks notice, did I?
You know, I think I had 2 weeks to be ready. You took it seriously. I think you told us.
So you took it seriously. All right.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is actually happening.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh shit, oh yeah, crap, all right, yeah, so you can't live it to the deadline kind of thing. So it's like, so where like you have like a week and you need to get a piece done, it's like, okay, cool, all right. So the quality is probably is not so much the biggest imperative. What you need to do is I need to get this done quickly, and to get this done quickly, I need to get it done from something that's local to me. Because otherwise you just won't, like even shipping and stuff like that, like it takes longer than so that's probably the biggest issue there.
Definitely, I think so. But just going back to this point that my pal Changi put up about African GDP being 2.6 trillion. I think obviously the Chinese are there obviously exploiting that 2.6 trillion.
The head of the game.
But how can we then as a people because I think a piece of that pie is already gone, how can we salvage the rest of the pie?
I think the first thing for me is that people actually go there.
Yeah, so I was actually going to say that. So it needs people like yourselves who are educated here to take the skills you have back there. That's what it needs. That's one of the things that needs to happen. So all everything that you guys learn here, you need to take it back to Africa to make it happen.
Okay,
because what happens is all the educated people end up leaving. Yeah, it's the same for the Caribbean. Like, but if you look at it, so I come from a small island. Yeah, I've come here. I've been educated. I've got like a skill set. I could take the skill set that I've got back there all of my family could take the skill set up, and we've already got a pretty decent thing set up. If every family from there did the exact same thing, would be in a great place. But it's not as easy because it's just islands. Where Africa's like a whole continent, like it's different because there's a lot more room for growth in different areas. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? When you're on an island that's 37 square miles, there's not much you can do. If you build a Wembley on there, that might take up half the island. You know what I mean? So like, you lot could fit about 5 Wembleys in one village. So it's just one of them things.
He's not lying. He's not lying.
Here's my thing in it. Like, people.
I could help myself. Now listen, but you understand what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is like with the skills that.
Back, innit?
No, obviously I got to throw 1 or 2 shots back. You might try to murder me earlier, bruv. Don't get twisted. Anyway,
I'm just spitting facts.
No, what I'm saying is like for people like yourselves and all of like my African pals, if you guys decided with the education, all the degrees that you guys have picked up here and decided to go home, take your skill set there, and all the people in Africa as well decided to, you know, really come together, I think something crazy can happen because the continent, there's so many opportunities on the continent. The problem is most people want to leave.
Yeah, because of the corruptness at the top.
Yeah,
I mean, but there's corruption everywhere, bro. Like when it comes to corruption, you got corruption here. Look at what the Tories did with regards to the whole COVID. What's it called? Test and trace app. They did the whole heap of stuff, bro. It's not like you could say corruption isolates Africa. It's not. It's not. It's just.
It's how it's felt.
It's all over. Huh?
It's how it's felt. Like the Africans feel.
Yeah.
I'm not African. Like the Africans who reside in Africa, they feel it differently, though. They feel it differently compared to how we.
But it's because here's the thing in it. Yeah, I speak to one of my cousins and they're telling me about how much a MP earns in Ghana, and it was less than what a lot of people earn here. Obviously, you've got perks of the job, but it's also if you're earning that much in comparison to somebody in the West, when a big corporation comes through and gives you the bag, and they give you the bag that changed your life, you're gonna do what when you tell them to jump. When they tell you to jump, you're gonna say how high because it is that much different. It's a lot more comparison to what you actually earn here. So in comparison to what you earn on a day-to-day basis. So therefore, these things it's not so straightforward. And secondly, when people talk about the Chinese or the Lebanese or the Italians, whoever's in Africa now, guess what? They're actually on the ground. We can't sit here from our comfortable living and complain about what's going on the continent when we're not there.
I guess so.
Because at the end of the day, it's easy. It's easy for us to be here and say, "Oh, these guys there, the government there, and then stay here."
Okay, fine. Begs the question again. So if we go back, then what do we do? Because it's easy enough just to say we go and we take over, but we can't just. No.
Here's the thing: you can't just go. You're not gonna go back and take over. At the end of the day, the system in place. But at the same time, what I will say is that there's everybody that's here that has something. Everybody here that has certain skills can go there and see how they can apply their skills there. Because there's so much things that's fertile to be done. There's so much things that can be done on the ground right now that will change a lot of people's lives. But if you don't go there, you just don't know.
What would you personally start with? You personally,
for me, it'd be continuing what I do entirely different. And so it'd probably be easier for me to do what I do there because then I'm actually on the ground there and actually being able to speak to different designers on like a day-to-day basis, on a face-to-face basis rather than just online.
You got Zoom.
Yeah, it's not the same, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It's not the same, but it eliminates the fact of you having to be there. You don't have to be there. That's the whole point.
But also it's like, for example, quality. If I'm getting a piece done and I want to be doing quality control, I'd want to be there to actually put the systems into place. I mean, you can't do that. You can't check how the material feels or if it's being finished correctly on Zoom.
Fair enough. And what about you then, Mason? What would you start with in Montserrat?
What would I start with? Listen, to be fair, and this is not a dig, It's not a dig. Like our situation isn't quite as sort of like far off as yours.
You
What
think
do you
so?
mean?
Yeah,
Far
like
off.
just it's different problems.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's different problems. I think in Africa, parts of Africa, people are really, really suffering. Like they're really suffering. In the Caribbean, it's not. It's suffering, but nowhere near like our brothers in Africa. That there's you like the people in Africa on the ground that are really poor. They're poor, and that's what I mean by different problems. Like, you can be poor in the Caribbean, but not that poor. You know. And so I feel like we've got different problems, and we've got all of those things that you guys need in terms of like Western unions, the PayPals, all of that stuff works fine because you got to remember our infrastructure is the same infrastructure that was there from slavery times. So yeah, so there's still there's a section of the Caribbean that's the US Virgin Islands. So basically they just haven't left. They still run the place. There's the British Virgin Islands as well. They haven't left. So it's the same thing, you know. There's the French is still there. The Dutch is still kind of there. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like it's still the same thing. So it's all like the Caribbean is almost like it's an extension of that colonial arm. It's still there. So they're still kind of running stuff. So that means it's similar to what we're doing in the UK. You know, similar, just not quite as high end. You know,
Do you know what's mad? Yeah, I found out the other day that people who live in Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, they're actually they're classified as Dutch nationals.
Yeah, that's why when you go to
I was like,
when you go to Holland, you got like a lot of them there. You got a lot of them still there. That move over.
It's crazy to be classified as like a Dutch national.
Yeah, so like the French, Thierry's where Thierry's from, that they're all French national. So Guadeloupe, I could see that island from my island. They're all French nationals. Like they don't see it's an extension of France. Like it's no, and especially if you're from the British Virgin Islands as well, like where Richard Branson lives, you're just another British citizen. Same as me, where I come from. We're just British overseas territories, like same passport.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But then you're not an independent nation then.
No.
Okay.
Still governed by Britain.
I need massive education on the Caribbean still, bro.
Because if you think about it, that's what I mean. Like, why I'm all for Africa coming up, because for me and anyone from the Caribbean that doesn't back it, it's just it's for us as a group. If you strip away like the nationalities and stuff, and you say, you know what, Africa is obviously where we all came from. That any Caribbean person that doesn't understand that they were transported there from Africa is lying to themselves, right? And there will be none of us there. There were no black people there before we came. That the people that were there were like, do you know American Indians? Like like from what I understand, they were separated in two different tribes, like the Caribs and the Arawaks, and one was slightly less hostile, and one was just they just loved to war. So there were two different tribes, and then they kind of blessed up with my man, that fraud Columbus, and he destroyed them, and he obviously took that information back to. He's a fraud, bruv.
He's the biggest lie in history, bruv.
He's a fraud.
I don't understand why they spread.
That's another story for another time. But he basically came through with a lot of random diseases, and all of the original people, they died very quickly.
Syphilis and all them things in the island.
And then obviously with the information that he had, just like they did to Africa, the information, they went there and they saw our paradise, the way we live, same as they did with Africa, how lush it is, and they were like, they saw an opportunity, and that's how this all kind of came about. You got to look at it from a different point of view, but we thought we were getting a deal because, as always, you know, we're peaceful, but somehow got portrayed as aggressors. I don't understand that. See, in my life, as a black man, I've never understood how black folks get portrayed as aggressors when we welcomed some outsiders into our worlds and we ended up here. Like, we ended up here. Right? This is what frustrates me.
Bro,
Anyway.
hold on, before you comment on that, let's not go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're not going to go down that
We
road. But
say
that's
this
the
every
that's
week.
the
Let's
only
not go
listen.
down this
That's the
rabbit
only
hole.
comment I'm going to make. I'm going to leave it there because I'm tired of that narrative of black folks are aggressive. Tired of it because, bro, when you really deep it,
It's impossible.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Anyway, but yeah,
we're only
that's
hostile
kind
now
of
because of what happened before. Yeah, exactly. Whistle.
that's kind of the that's the structure. That's the way the Caribbean came up, really. So, like I said, a lot of these big colonial powerhouses have still got their fingers in all of the pies. There's quite a few independent nations, but I mean, some of them have just the corruption. Again, it's no different. That's one thing. We're both in the same boat. The corruption in the independent nations is mad. It's mad. There's stories of some islands giving drug dealers diplomatic immunity.
Bloody
all
hell.
sorts of crazy, yeah, mad stuff. Look it up. You'll find a lot of stuff on it. So, like, certain drug dealers, got in good with the prime minister of certain islands. They were given a diplomatic passport to be the diplomat to, let's say, Taiwan or one of these countries. And they just run their operations and take the piss. Obviously, you're not going to hear about all this stuff because it's not really within your line of sight. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to see that kind of stuff. But for me, I'm still.
Come up on BBC News.
No, it's not going to come up on BBC News that the Prime Minister of St. Lucia got caught with X and rare. But these things happen.
Bloody hell, man.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Anyways, back onto subject.
Yeah, man.
Because again, the economy and all us like liberating ourselves is a mad topic. But I mean, Kwame, I appreciate what you're trying to do with the Taylor Different because clearly, obviously, you've been doing this for enough time to see where the holes are and stuff like that. What then is your projection then going forward? Like, how long do you want to kind of scale this, and what kind of time frame have you given yourself?
I mean, I should be started by then. I'll probably say next 3-4 months. I should have started by actually having a site up where you can buy like the designs from different designers directly, and then kind of from there just seeing how things work out and like whether or not I will use the designers to actually make the products, or if I say, you know what, it's easier for me to actually have somebody else make it, and I just pay you a percentage of the fee of the sales, and take it from there. So it should be done. I will say next 3-4 months you'll have some stuff coming, and just bear with me.
Just what? What did you say?
I said bear with me in that regard. Yeah, just because obviously the pandemic, it's been a bit of an interesting time, but yeah, it's definitely something I think about.
I think we touched on the subject about sending some people being able to gauge measurements from pictures. Have you looked into fashion tech at all?
Fashion tech, yes, a bit. There is more that I want to do with that. So there are some things. For example, people. Let me see. What's the best way for me to say this? There's different things that can be done, and also it's about like, certain people might want to actually see how does this piece look on me, and how to use that or make it augmented reality to kind of bridge that gap to make it so that, all right, cool. So this is how I do what, like kind of having like a image of like, okay, cool. This is the piece I want. Do I like that color on me? Do I like that? Do I like that length on me? Things of that sort. So yeah, there are definitely, obviously, with the different like technologies that are coming out. That's definitely something that is one piece I'm looking at.
I think fashion tech is going to be so huge in a couple of actually in the very, very near future, simply because of the death of the high street. I think that something needs to be done to kind of simulate an in-store feel, as well as just providing it online. I always use Farfetched as like right now the people who are really leading the charge in any of this stuff. Have you looked at the Farfetched model at all as to how they do things?
Not as yet, no.
Definitely look into it. Definitely look into it because
put it up.
Their model's mad, huh?
I'm gonna put up on it. I'm just gonna put up their website now. So have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dip into their model's mad, and they're really, again, as I said, leaders of the pack when it comes to a lot of the stuff that they're doing and have been doing for a while now. In terms of what's it called, just bringing fashion and technology together as to one. Do you
Ruthless.
think, huh?
Ruthless.
Who? Farfetch?
Yeah. But in a
Are you
nice
saying
way.
ruthless in a good or bad way?
But in a nice way.
Yeah, no, they're ruthless. They're
ruthless.
I think relentless.
Yeah, that's probably more.
Yeah,
they're
relentless in their pursuit.
Because it's just they just want the best people working for them, and they're trying to stay ahead of the game. They're quite heavy on getting data and using that data to understand their customer. All of the stuff that I think even at sort of like, let's say like the people on Instagram with all the analytics and stuff that you've got on Instagram, if you're selling stuff through the gram, like we had the jewelry trap on before, Sis. All of that stuff. If you got like a profile on Instagram, you're selling through Instagram, all those analytics, they kind of use that on.
They're very useful.
Yeah, so they use, but obviously on a much bigger scale because they've got their websites, they've got different apps and stuff, and I think they just use all of that data to then look after their customers, understand what they want, and just, which is great. Kind of like what Google does to you, but by stealing your data. So you don't get nothing out of it. At least with Farfetch, you get something out of it.
Yeah, man.
I
mean, like I said, everything's going that way. Kwame, would you ever think of having like a shop yourself if you ever got to a stage?
What, as a physical store?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, yeah, it would be good. I can't lie. It would be a good, like, it would be. I mean, obviously it has to be profitable, like, you know, accounting.
Yeah.
But if I was able to get to that stage, yes, I'd be very happy, bro. I can't lie.
I'm only asking.
In Africa, or this in here, I can't lie. I'll be very happy, bro.
Fair enough. I'm only asking because you can see what obviously what's happening to the high street now. If it's still something that you'd be tempted.
I mean, I think the thing is, yeah, people, when it comes to buying clothes and stuff of that sort, yeah, online is great, but at some point, there's nothing that beats like the feel of the fabric in your hand, and like before you purchase it, like, and especially if it's, for example, if you get something made to measure, or you get something made bespoke for you, it's like, actually, no, you know what, these options I could have gone for. I want this one because this is what I liked the most. Like, online is great, but I don't know. We haven't got to the point where the technology has something that can match that feel.
That tangibility, is that even if that's the word, like that tangible feel.
I mean, you say that, but I think we're going in a direction of no high streets altogether. I think.
No, you'll have a high street. To be honest, like I got out of work today and I actually took the bus, being lazy, down to Oxford Street. Oxford Street was rammed.
But then, do you think you think that's like kind of our age group? Because I'm looking ahead at sort of like the next gen, right?
Yeah, no, it was mixed. It was mainly from what I saw anyway. Mainly our age group and younger that I mainly saw roaming the streets. But
yeah, like, are they actually shopping though? You know,
no, I mean,
are they just out there like that? Because I think as the age groups get sort of younger, with people, you know, using tech, like, you know, the boohoos like we spoke about earlier and all that kind of stuff, this buying stuff online is becoming a lot more of the norm. You know, we like going and feeling it, putting it on, all of that kind of stuff, but I'm just not sure that they see that, and that could be lost in the next 10, 20 years. You might be looking at a position where technology is so far forward that you put in your measurements and they have like a mock-up of what it would look like, and you can actually see it. I'm sure something's probably available already like that, but I mean, you just put in your measurements, if you know them, by the way, Yeah. So would you still need to go, especially let's say it's cold old England and it's not summer vibes. It's standard England how it is normally with like 5 seasons in one day. That's what you're getting. And you're like, nah, not today. So let me just that's just I'm looking at it like that, you know?
I think there's different reasons why people want to go to shop. I feel
Right.
like if you are, for example, if you are having a suit made for your wedding and you're now going to, like that was something that you probably want to do in store. It's something you probably want to go and see somebody about, because at the end of the day, it's a big event. It's a big moment for you. You're going to take hundreds of pictures. You probably want to look your best. But if you're now, for example, if you're having something made up where it's just like, if you're just buying for everyday wear, then yes, I can see that being something that probably will be done by, you just buy something online, and if it fits, it don't, you just send it back. But there's different reasons why people go to shop. So and also it's about the retailers making sure that they give a great in-store experience so that people want to come back to it. There's no, like, people, like for example, they've been using like click and collect and stuff like that, but it's still, the footfall on the high street is still going down. And so therefore you need something different. You need something that will make people want to come to the store.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I think this is where ASOS and Boohoo are winning and winning well. The deliveries and returns. I'm not even gonna lie. I fall suit to it sometimes, where sometimes I'll buy a whole heap of stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna return X, Y, Z. Then I get in and I try them on. I'm like, actually looks alright, and I keep them. Or if I really don't like something, it's easy enough for me to send it back. So that's where, I mean, you can say you can give somebody some what's it called, the experience to come back to, but would they really care if you have something that simple? I try
So,
something on,
I
I
mean,
back in
people
the
still go
bag,
to Primark, and
scan
Primark
it.
is not online.
yeah, it's true.
Primark is
It's
different.
true.
They did it well though. They've offered a product which people
Fast
only know
fashion.
you can actually go into the store to buy, and it really is super fast fashion. That's
Yeah,
fashion. That's
but
fashion on
this
some
is,
speed.
I think where Boohoo and all those other ASOS and all that, let me tell you now, if they start picking it up from your house, if you
Which
don't
they
have to
might
go
do.
post office to return it, and it's a wrap.
yeah, but then
Wrap.
also remember
It's all
It's
that
a
wrapped
it
in
wrap.
needs
high
to be
street.
profitable, innit? It
If
needs to
they
be
start,
profitable.
if you
It will
no
be.
don't want it, cool. Courier's at the door. It's a wrap. I'm telling
It
you,
will
it's a
be.
wrap. If they get to
I
that
don't know,
stage,
man.
I say, like you
It's
said earlier,
expensive to get people to
the only time I see people in
pick up.
shops would be wedding. I'm definitely going to see somebody if I'm getting married. If I get married,
Yeah.
put,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly. There is a gap for it, and that gap
And
is specifically still that. But I think on a larger scale, I think like what you said, like Hermes, for example. Hermes is not actually that expensive to get somebody to come to your yard to pick up something. It's not that expensive. I
You know,
think
when you
maybe it's
said
cheap,
Hermes,
£16.
I was thinking about bloody what's that bag called?
oh,
The
the
what?
Hermes.
I was thinking about Hermes. Continue, share.
What? The bag?
I was
Yeah,
thinking about that bag. Oh, what's that thing called?
bro. I don't listen. Those bags, I stay away from them. It's just like
What bags are these? I don't know what bags these are. You know?
I know what you're talking about. I think it's a Hermes bag. Oh, I think that's how you
Yeah,
say it. I'm not really good with like that luxury high fashion
I
stuff.
forgot it's
So
called. Share. But yeah,
Actually, tell I do know what you talk about. Pardon me. Yes. No, Hermes, the delivery company, who is just trash, realistically. But it's not that expensive. And all people have to do, like ASOS smartly say, why do you think they do free deliveries? Like say free delivery over £50. Because as soon as they hit the £50 mark, they know they've probably got about £10-15 in profit or something like that, which they've set in stone to give to delivery companies to then be able to push whatever they want. All they then have to do is smartly push that, say, okay, cool, £75. Now they can get somebody to your door and pick it up. You'll be surprised
all
as
right,
to
but
how easily it is to get people to spend that much money.
all right, but with this whole new generation coming through being more eco-friendly, do you think they will think
They
about
ain't
this? Like,
eco-friendly. They're not eco-friendly.
you don't think
They
so?
think they are, but they're not. They're not. They're not. And the thing is, because and I say that because there's so much on the level site that I look into with regards to sustainable clothing. And there is a lot. It's gone to the point that, like, a friend of mine, he he's working with a clothing brand who make their t-shirts out of almost 70% hemp. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
breathable, which is absolutely wicked. But they've had to think that
Mhm.
way because they know the methods of actually transporting half of these things is so anti-sustainable, is so detrimental to the earth, for example, and stuff like that. People still are like buying lots of stuff with plastic on them, which is non-biodegradable, which just mash up everything as well. So that's what I'm trying to say. People like to think they're shopping sustainably, but they're really not in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. So yeah.
No, I hear you.
My camera again.
So, what we got to start doing? Just delivering clothes in paper bags, or like what?
Yeah, to be honest, no, literally, to be honest,
No,
you have to
what
figure out
wrapped?
more
You know, like
biodegradable
old school
ways.
style when they used to wrap it with string and paper bag. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could be
yeah,
a thing.
100%.
Could be a thing. The problem is, it's easier to rob that bad boy, isn't it?
No, it's true.
And I
It
think
is easier to rob that bad
it's
boy,
easy
as you
to rob
said.
that bad boy. So there you go. So people are probably going to carry on using the plastics. I think the whole conversation about being more eco-friendly, it's a very big on the conversation, man. And
It is, but there's a lot that can
it
be
is
done.
what it is, man. It is what it
It is,
is.
but again,
It
like
is what it
stuff
is.
like
Exactly.
upcycling really helps. Like, so one of
Yeah.
the companies I work with, they upcycle so many things. There's a, a brand, what they call Panty. They literally like it's a female, a women's underwear brand. They remake a lot of their underwear out of old t-shirts. So
Wow.
you'll see like a bra made out of like an old t-shirt. You see the underwear made out of the not G-string, a thong made out of an old t-shirt and stuff like that. They're so smart. Like upcycling, sorry, is a really smart way of being actually sustainable, and it minimizes a lot of the wastage. And made by Mensa again, they do a lot of
Hmm.
made to orders. So it's not. It's like
Yeah.
they will
I
make
think that's good.
whatever is requested is how much they make, and then boom onto the
Mm,
next season, and that's it. And that's another way of actually cutting down. But then what happens is
yeah.
that people are like, okay, cool, rah, this is really sustainable, this, that, the other, but it's gonna cost me £60. £60 for a
Yeah.
t-shirt, people will say. Then that's when people start batting eyelids and stuff like that. But then I go, well, Gucci will sell you the same quality t-shirt for 120. You're not gonna blink. Like, what's your problem?
But
So then
it's a matter of what you value, don't it?
it's true, and that's what I'm trying to say. This is where it all becomes a bit funny and a bit weird as to how people shop and how people like to think they shop in a certain way. But it's crazy how contradictory that they are actually shopping, and then the methods that they're using. So there's so
No.
much to be worked on with regards to that and sustainability, etc. And that's why on levels I try to really, and I'm so glad Tash is on it. Really push sustainable clothing because trust me, the amount of things we're doing to this earth is horrible, man. If you watch enough documentaries and realize what we're doing is just horrible. So I'm trying to kind of just taper
Do
that down.
Kwame, my question for you,
Mhm.
Sis, I'll get
Yeah.
back to you on that climate stuff because yeah, I didn't know that you were that into it. But do you think you like sort of like the African fashion or
Mhm.
the fashion from the continent? Do you think you'll get to a point where like it will be high end, really high end luxury fashion, like,
I mean, you
or,
do have some pieces.
is there some pieces already available, etc.? Yeah.
There are some designers that are already in the high end kind of. So, for example, there's one uh, Tokyo James. There's one designer called Tokyo James that he's coming up for. Like he's been shortlisted for quite a few high end design, like fashion design awards. So there are high end fashion designers. Like you've got the couture designers in Africa. It's an area which not many people know unless you're involved in that piece. But there
Mhm.
are high end fashion designers coming out of the continent for sure.
So,
Yeah, there is for
so
sure. I mean, you just have to look as far as how much Virgil, for example, is really dialing into Africa. I mean, a lot of the stuff Virgil's been doing is actually centered around Ghana, for some reason. I don't know why.
Because you had him and
What-
but then a lot of those there was a collaboration he did with like Daily Paper, but they're both two people from the diaspora and that, so it's a bit.
Yeah,
What's his background? Because I don't know much about the guy. So
who,
Virgil?
Virgil.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, he's Ghanaian American, and
is he
Right.
Ghanaian American? Yeah, Ghanaian American. Yeah.
idea. Well, there you
Okay.
go. Probably explains it. At least he knows he's from Ghana, which is good for an American, because Americans have no idea what the hell they're from.
You know, I find that very strange that obviously in the UK, everyone over here is quite connected to like their African roots, right? And everyone knows where they're from. They're representing, but they look at it very differently in America. Like
America, either African.
It's different, isn't it?
not all of them though. I've seen some that are very, you know what I mean, proactive and quite proud of doing, you know, and doing bits, but some of them are just kind of just trying to dip under the radar. And I'm just like, it reminds me of England 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
True.
But you got to remember also, like in the UK, there's not an indigenous black population in it. Like, I mean, before the Africans or West Africa got here, you had the Caribbeans, but then it's like they weren't here for that a long period before us. Obviously, you had some black people that were here for centuries, whatnot. But as in a large population of black people, there's not an indigenous population of black people. In America, you have the African Americans that have been there for centuries. That they don't know, like maybe a lot of them will claim to come from the South. But then it's like from the south onto like the continent, there's no connection. So it's like they don't know where they're from because generally they have no idea.
So remember when we had Essence
easier
on?
to assimilate.
Mason, remember we had Essence on, the American singer. Remember when we asked them about like their views on like black people here and how they thought we lived and stuff like that. But you could tell when we were speaking to her, and no disrespect, like you could tell that she didn't know, like as you said, what type of like you're the light skinned black or something like that.
Look,
and
man,
that kind of
genuinely
difference there was just like whoa.
See, whereas like
it's like that.
Our geography, I don't know if it's because like we get taught in school or what, but like when I was in the States, I had people saying to me, "You're not from London. There's no black people in London." I had that comment. It was legit. They didn't believe that we were from London. I said, if we were just putting on the accents, I said, right, these people really don't think. But I think that's also like quite an American view. They kind of they just think America is the center of the world, and
well, boy,
and that's it
right now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think also when it comes to America in that regard, it's like they are the center of a lot of global trade, and they're the biggest power at the moment. Isn't it? So it's a bit like you could be, and also it's a big country in it. It's a big country, so you can like for example, the only reason why I got to know like American states was because of NBA. The reason why I got to understand like different parts of America was because it's like, where's these teams based? And so like when it comes to geography for them, it's like, stars and ends of us. Like, where else is there? There's nowhere else. Like, and the rest of the world is looking to them and as a leader in so many different areas. So
until China knocks them off their perch. Sorry.
What? And China's coming full force,
It's coming. It's coming.
China's coming full force.
I reckon. Listen, Xi Jinping, 2030. He's not messing about in our lifetime.
Yeah.
No, in our lifetime, China's going to be the bigger power. But then also, it's
9 years, also, bro. Remember, we had this conversation, and I told you 9 years.
YouTube saved it for us.
They will be the global power. Facts.
Yeah,
I think so.
I don't think America's going to let that go easily.
Well, this is where it might come to blows, and then that means Africa gets trampled. It means we get trampled.
They can fight over the Pacific, bro. They can fight over the Pacific. They don't need to bring anything to no Africa or nothing. They got one ocean that separates them. They can fight over there, bro. Leave us alone. Leave us the hell alone.
But you know that ain't gonna happen, bro.
That's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen.
I mean, just before we've got probably another like 10-15 minutes, but just before we wrap up, we can't leave this without. I mean, I dropped it in the group on our group today, Kwame, about what's going on in the world of football. Kind of briefly gauge your opinion, Dan. What's your opinion? And this is nice that it led on from America, because I actually think this whole thing is centered around Americanism.
I don't even know what to call myself, but I'm one of those people. Like, I respect people's hustle, and I respect wealth. I respect anybody trying to get money, because I know how hard it is to get money. So when I see people trying to create something, I'm never in sort of like a headspace where I try and judge it. And I'm also like a workaholic. I'm the sort of person that just wants to work and build, right? Like, I'm in that headspace. So I'm all for working and building. I don't want to tear down billionaires. Listen, you know how hard it is to be a billionaire? Like, bro, it takes work, consistency, and a level of focus that most of us don't have. So if you get to that level, fine. When I look at the teams that broke away, apart from Tottenham, because they don't need to be there. Like, and
everybody says exactly the same about.
I don't give a damn. Like, and there was a meme that was going around today saying it's like Banana Man getting called up to the Avengers, and it's facts. Like, it's facts. It's facts. It's facts. What are Tottenham? How is Tottenham in the mix?
Oh Lord, gosh!
How are they in the mix? And listen, obviously, I'm an Arsenal supporter, and it's not me like trying to jump on them, or it's just, how are you in the conversation? If you look at the teams that's involved, most of the teams that's involved have won the Champions League or been in that competition consistently over the last 40 years. You deep it, AC, Inter, Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Liverpool, right? Like, they make up the Champions League. They do.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
The only other teams that really come close is like Bayern Munich.
Right. Exactly. So how did Tottenham get a say in that conversation? How did they get a seat at the table?
Money. We're the richest league in the world.
Right. So from my point of view, I think with all of what they've accomplished for world football, just being those teams, the Liverpools, think about how many that when they came back in, where were they, in Turkey that year, like 2006? Remember?
Yeah.
When they were like 3-0 down and they destroyed Shevchenko and co. All of that, bruv, they made the Champions League. That's why you fall in love with the Champions League, because all of those moments, that was a Liverpool moment. Man United beat Chelsea, like Barcelona, and what they've done in the Champions League over the last 10 years or so. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So if them man want to get together now, say, you know what, we're going to start something else, because for starters, they're not handling stuff like racism properly. They're not handling stuff like fair play properly. All of these.
Yeah, but let's be honest. It's not about racism, bro. It ain't about.
Cool, but fair enough. I see opportunity. So I'm looking at it from like an opportunity point of view. So if there's a possibility to have a fairer system, cool. Given what these guys already bring to the table, that's just my point of view. I don't see anything wrong with it. Hustle. It's a bit spineless if you look at it from a poor man's point of view. It is. It is quite spineless if you look at it from a poor man's perspective, where like these teams were built on the backs of poor people spending their hard-earned dollars to go out there and build them up, and now they're going, nah, we're getting out of it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it is messed up if you look at it from that point of view. But those teams, that the 12 or so that said yes, what they've done for football in general, or the Champions League, I think they've put a lot on the table. They've done a lot, so they kind of deserve to have some kind of say.
They do. But I said that one of this. Well, I said this in the group today. First of all, the teams that have signed up are actually all, apart from, I can say hand on heart, apart from Man City, maybe Liverpool, they're actually all crap. They're actually all crap currently.
What, at this moment in time? Or you talking Premier League teams, or are you talking like the
all of the teams in there? Man United have not won a Premier League in the past 8 years. We've won UEFA Cup, and we've won an FA Cup. Arsenal haven't won the league in.
But Man United is still a giant club, bro. Like,
no, we're giant in terms of our finances.
Don't look at it in terms of like winning. Look at it in the size of the club. Man United are probably
take your business cap off.
They're in the top 2 or top 3 clubs in the world. They're one of the biggest.
Take your business cap off.
Right.
You're a competitor. Are you going to tell me, if Hackney, went through a spell of not winning nothing for 5, 10 years?
That's never gonna happen.
And then
I was playing, fam.
no, but that's what I'm trying to
Go on.
And then Brixton all of a sudden came and just rose to the top, and now they were the dominant force. Are you going to then say at that moment in time, over that 10-year period, that you're going to say Hackney is as good as Brixton? You're not going to say that because you're not.
No,
But
but
this is the point I'm trying to make, because
there's still some
everything goes with
pedigree
the
though.
ebbs and
It still
flows.
is Manchester United at the end of
Forget
the
your
day.
pedigree. You want to compete. You want to be competitive. You want to be able to compete with them. Listen, if you want to, if everybody's coming down to being steeped in history, flipping Nottingham Forest have more say than flipping even Arsenal.
This is true, 100%. I said that today.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When it comes to here's the thing. When it comes to this, you're talking about you're talking about 9 of the top biggest clubs in the world. Like 9 of the 10.
Let's really establish financially.
This is the thing of it, You got the footballing argument and you got the financial argument. And also you got the footballing argument where it's where people, let's be honest, people are going to, for example, in that group today, people are saying, well, the people won't go and watch it. I think they will. Because if you're telling me you're going to guarantee me watching what Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, people are going to turn Arsenal, not forget Bayern Munich, sorry. Arsenal versus Barcelona, Arsenal versus Real Madrid. People are going to turn up.
Okay, but
I agree with that because I said that today. I said if I had an opportunity to, when things are normal, if there was a little European trip during the week to Italy to watch Arsenal, I'm there, bro. 100%. I'm there. People are going. I'm going off to Italy to watch Arsenal play Juventus. Facts.
Why you might support Arsenal?
Here's the thing of it. I'm just being realistic, and I'm just thinking about it. The financial argument is they have more power, and it's just flexing. They're building a moat. It's a bit like the NBA. If you look at the NBA, you can't get relegated. No matter how shit your team is, you can't get relegated.
No, and that's the point. And that is what separates football from stuff like that.
The American sport.
Yeah, but these owners are trying to get the franchise, bro. They're going to get the franchise. And also, if you think about it, people talk about. I mean, it's not really because look at it. The top 6 teams in the Premier League have been the top 6 teams for a decade.
Not really.
Yeah.
So what?
Yes.
Remember
Leicester.
Excuse me. Wait. We're not talking about the last 2 seasons. We're talking about the last.
Excuse me, Leicester. Excuse me, West Ham, and excuse me, Everton.
But what?
Even Sheffield United last year.
Come on, bro. Let's not put this 2020 season and say this is how things have been going. Leicester City have been an aberration. There's not been many teams that have broken into that top 4.
Mm-hmm. They've done
there
well.
You go, top 4.
They've done well.
Yeah, but I'm saying even top 4, top 6. The top clubs at the top of the league in the Premier League have been very consistent. Yeah. It's not been for example, Man United as the top club. When's the last time you guys came below 6?
When's the last time we what?
When's the last time Man United came below 6 in the league?
I think when David Moyes was there, actually, either it was 6th or 7th.
There you have it. So other than that, how many other times you can remember in your lifetime?
Yeah, in my lifetime, none.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, none. For the past 30 years,
there has been a mainstay of Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and maybe one other. Who's the other tag along that?
No, Liverpool. Oh, in the past 30 years, yeah, okay, fine.
Do you know what I mean? We're talking because remember, Liverpool were just tearing up the league for years back then. Then Man United came along. It was a Man U Liverpool thing, and then Arsenal had a stint. We had a stint, we had a stint, and then we kept getting top 4. We kept. I think for the whole time Wenger was there, barring maybe 1 or 2 seasons, 3 maybe, we had top 4 the whole time. The whole time, no one else could break into that top 4. Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool. And Chelsea come in with a little bit of dough, and then we're talking maybe a decade ago. Yeah, City came in with more dough about a decade ago, and they've been there since, right? So, and given what City have done for the Premier League in the last couple of years, they have some say. I still don't like them because they kind of bought their way in. But it is what it is.
Okay, but fine. Put it this way: what if then you guys are living off the past and the prestige of these clubs? Yeah. If UEFA and FIFA come and say, okay, you man are not playing Champions League, and players as well, you are not allowed to
But
play.
they're not. But I think
They can't.
this league is.
Have you not seen that
This league has come to actually take the place of Champions League. It's not coming to be in addition to Champions League. It's playing at the same time.
Okay, but some of the players, well, most of the players now, fine, I'm talking about now anyway. Probably the players now want to win Champions Leagues. What do you want to win the Super League?
I mean, but do the players want to get paid, or they don't want to win the Champions League?
But this is what I mentioned in the group. A lot of the time, I understand why a lot of the players won't leave now anyway. A lot of people want to eat. Your career is 10 to 15
listen,
years.
These players,
eat well.
when they get signed, like look into it, doing some research, and I kid you not, when people get signed nowadays, part of what their package that they get paid, the fee, is how many people that they got on Instagram, bro. Like all of the football. What we don't understand is we've been watching football pretty much our whole lives, and there's this new generation of yeah, for real. Sometimes I packed it in for a bit and then came straight back. But life of an Arsenal supporter. But listen, like it's just like football is changing. Like it's changing, and we have to understand that this is one of those pivotal moments in football where it's gonna change. It's gonna change. If you think about the teams that made up the league over the last couple of years, it's always been them scrappy teams at the bottom of the league that come in and out, drop down, rare. But the reason why the Premier League is what it is, it's been consistent quality out of the top 6 teams, and that's what people watch. It's not Spain where it's a 1-2 race. Remember, it's not a one. It's none of that 1-2 race. It's always been a consistent race of 6 teams max. That's what the Premier League brings to the table. So if these teams that have done bits, and to be honest, like I said to like one of the guys in the group, I said, boy, they've got a lot of data behind them. It's too much of a bold move for them not to have a huge amount of data. You don't just wake up and go, we're ducking out.
But this has been happening. This has been in the works for years. And also,
at least 3 years. Because remember that you see that clip that Louis Van Gaal was saying about it's commercially thinking. Have you seen that clip, you man?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah,
I know Wenger talked about this back in 2008.
Huh?
Wenger talked about this back in 2008. So this has been something that's going to happen, isn't it? Yeah, and for me, I'm not that much of a football fan in it, so I don't watch that many games. So I look at it just purely of the emotion. People get emotional about it. I look at it and just think that it's gonna happen, man. They've got too much money not to make it happen.
Yeah, they have. It's true, and I think for me, it's just sad because I think how it's been built and the slap in the face from the workers anyway, the local supporters who have actually made these football clubs, is just really sad to see.
Yeah, but look, bro.
I think people are saying the same thing about the Premier League, bro.
Yeah, but when the Premier League happened, that's exactly what happened. The top teams took off and said, we're doing our own thing. Now look where we are. Right? Okay, look at it like this. Let's say, for instance, us 3, we're working for a Farfetch, like we were talking. Take it back to fashion for a second, And we're all 3 top designers and making Farfetch hella money, And one day we said, listen, lads, we're doing bits. Let's dip and start our own company. Farfetch aren't going to like us because they feel like they built us up. They gave us that opportunity. But how are we supposed to grow? What do you stay in that same position and you think, and yes, it might be a little bit business minded, but do you stay in that same position getting a salary, or do you go out there and try and get uncapped earnings? Which one would you take? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Surely
people be talking about. I mean, people be talking about PSG and Bayern Munich not joining at the moment. I think they'll join.
They will.
I think they'll join
because people forget that
because they're majority owned
by the people,
by their fans. Yeah. By the fans, the fans are going to be seeing the best players in the world not playing against Bayern Munich.
Listen,
they see that week in, week out anyway.
Listen,
but when it comes to Champions League, this is why people want to watch Champions League now.
Precisely, but that's not their fault. The fans won't change that. They want to have control.
I think the fans will. I think the fans will get on board.
German fans
I think they'll get on board.
They'll get on board.
I think the fans will get on board.
So. Listen, it clicked because UEFA like posted what their new Champions League is going to look like after 2024. The fact that they did that lets me know. It lets me know that it's gone so far they can't stop it now. The fact that they're trying to draw people back.
What's the new format now?
They're upping it from 32 teams to 36, and it's going to be run like a league rather than knockout stages and stuff like that. And then you got to get into playoff places and all that kind of stuff. So UEFA had this plan anyway.
Yeah,
they had this plan anyway, but they were just they were gonna bring everybody. But these men have gone, nah, man. We're going this way and we're doing our own thing. This is what it boils. At the end of the day, lads, yeah, we're all fans of the game. Yeah, whether you're fully into it going to games or you watch a couple of games. It doesn't matter what we think.
No,
it doesn't matter what we think. Like Kwame, you said it earlier. It's gonna happen anyway. If it wasn't now, it would have happened in the future. There was always going to be a breakaway. Always. It makes sense. This is just growth. I think a lot of people have like an issue with it because people don't like change.
People don't like change, but I think it's more they don't like change as when they feel so much a part of the history of clubs and they feel the disregard. Can you see from that sense though? Like
football is nothing without the fans, and football is also nothing without the players. So we're all gonna have to find a middle ground and get crack-a-lacking, mate. It is what it is.
I think we're gonna see. We're gonna have flipping June 26th draft nights or whatever it is. All of this stuff. It's gonna be crazy.
You know what that does? When you think about it in hindsight, yeah. Like, think about it. Imagine like someone like, let's say they open it up after a while and they're like, this is the new Premier League and this is what we're gonna do, right? And they keep relegation because no one knows what it really looks like. But let's say a team comes up, a Norwich that have just been promoted, and it's a draft situation rather than whatever else. And Norwich gets to pick the future Ronaldo and goes off and does bits. That's bruv, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, but
what's wrong with that?
But look, if it's
it does kill off the old system. That's what I mean. The old system's gone.
If it's anything like NBA, right? You need to get almost lucky. Like the Golden State Warriors happened to draft Steph, Clay, and Draymond, for example. It's a building process which, unfortunately, the history of football does not pertain to that. You're going to wait 20, 30 years for a whole 2 generations probably to be wiped out because a lot of the generations now have been brought up on a certain style of football and how to get to things. They want to go straight to the best team and play for the best players. Nobody wants to go to flipping Washington Wizards, bruv. Nobody wants to go there, bruv. Who wants to play for them? Who else? New Orleans. Who wants to play for New Orleans right now, bruv? Or flipping the Charlotte Bobcats. Who wants to play for these teams?
You say that, but if you're one of them players, if you're one of them players, if you think about it and you just want to play, you might not be the best player out there. So coming into football, listen, when I was coming up, and I was into football, if Charlton Athletic came looking, I would have said yes. I would have said yes.
A lot of people would have said yes.
I would have said yes. If back when Crystal Palace was pants, I would have said yes. Like any of them teams that came through, Brentwood or Brentford, all them, yes. Well, it was just an opportunity to play. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like you say that kind of stuff, but Steph didn't have a trace. Steph didn't have no trace. Steph's dad was a Golden State player before. Yeah. So he was always going to be connected in some way. And that was the only team that was really going to give him a shot based on the merit of his dad. He just turned out to be decent and pay back that faith. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, he would have took any... Listen, if the Charlotte Bobcats came through for him back in the day, or New Orleans Pelicans now, he would have went there too. It would have been Steph over there doing numbers.
Yeah, because he had to, but that's the thing. It's like I'm trying to say the way football is bred now, it's not going to be that for a long enough period of time.
Right.
It's really not. Like, it's going to take a while for it to be embedded into players' head. Okay, it's a draft system. Okay, so
That
the
one,
best
that one, I
player
don't know if they're going to
coming
change
out of,
that, man.
we'll see. I'm the best
No.
player coming out of the Bayern
I tell
Munich
you what,
youth squad. I'm going
the
to get
re-
drafted by Manchester United and play Super
well,
League.
this is the thing. They would have to for them to put it into a proper draft. They would have to shore it up almost like how they've got the college system set up over there, where
So
we
now
have.
we have what now
Do you know what I mean?
the Premier League and all the other leagues
Kids,
are going to be NCAA.
yeah,
What's
where
that?
kids are gonna have to go through the university system and they start pumping money. Because remember, what they've mentioned is 3.5 billion to spend money on infrastructure. That infrastructure could mean they pump money into university systems to get a better league nationally for universities. So instead of going to an academy, you go to a university that has a proper sports program, not just the Loughboroughs and all these other schools that were up there, right? You get a whole country almost. That if that's the case, that would be awesome for young people coming through, and it'll be good for their education as well, because you get to go to a school, get an education, and you don't fall flat on your face when football doesn't work out for you.
That's if that's the case. And how likely do you think that's the case? Because they've shown nothing like that right now.
Well, we don't know the full plans. They've just announced that they want to dip.
Yeah, it's true. Dip.
At the moment, it's just a signal of intent. But I do think this is going to happen, man. Regardless of what the fans say and people like smaller clubs will say, I think it's going to happen. Like, these clubs have been the biggest clubs in the world consistently. Like, I'm just looking at the rankings now. Back in 2009, who was at the top? Man United, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Bayern Munich. These are the same clubs that are at the top now. So I don't think it's going to change.
It makes sense. Leicester's a phenomenon. Like, seriously, if they didn't get, because remember, people are forgetting that Leicester had a lot of money pumped into them. Like, the money that they had pumped into them at the Championship level or whatever they were in was higher than most of them other teams. They had that billionaire. I think he's a Thai billionaire.
Yeah,
the guy right, there you go. So Leicester the Man City of League 1, 2, or wherever they came from.
Okay, that's where they come from. But then to make it in the Premier League and win the Premier League, that's
but they still but they never came up through academy players, bruv. They came up through buy-in players and updating their recruitment process by spending money on the right people.
Where was Jamie Vardy playing, bro, before he come and shelled the Premier League?
Listen, that was smart recruiting, fine. But then someone had to be paid.
He was playing League 2.
Yeah, but someone.
Hold on. Here's the thing: Leicester is one-off, bro. That's a one-off.
It's true.
That's a one-off. You can't and also, if you look at the other leagues in Europe, you don't even have a Leicester team. Example: who's the last team that won the Spanish league? That wasn't Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Villarreal.
Other than those three. When was the last time Villarreal running?
In the last 15 or so years, you're right. Makes sense.
Deportivo, probably at the tip of that 15 years, when they had man like John Carew.
Okay, so
but come on, where's Deportivo now?
Yeah, they're struggling to get our league.
Where are they now? Like, this is what I'm saying.
They're gonna get relegated into the 3rd division of Spanish football.
Like, right then, so the Spanish league. Well, they were going to jump to it regardless. There's no way they weren't going to jump to it.
Well, Barcelona for real.
Yeah, come on.
Those three teams. Like, I mean, Atletico's kind of, all right, we'll bring you along, kind of thing. You're like the smaller brother. We'll bring you along, cool. But those two teams dominate so much of Spanish football, and also two of the biggest clubs in the world. And if you think that they're going to look at the Champions League and think, all right, cool, we're still going to have to go to Turkey to these teams that are small. And that don't move the needle. They don't move the needle. When you go into the what's the Turkish league called? Galatasaray and all that, they don't move the needle in terms of viewership.
Nah.
Well, anyways, we'll see what happens, man. If you want to bounce to flipping San Siro midweek to watch Arsenal, good for you, man.
Straight up, bro.
This is why
if United are going to the new camp, United are going to the new camp.
Let me ask you a question.
Why are you not going?
Sis, have you been to Barcelona? Have you been to Barcelona, Sis?
Have I been to Barcelona? Yeah.
Yeah.
Camp Nou is beautiful.
Yeah.
Listen, bro. If Arsenal are playing Barcelona on almost like every other week, me there. because Barcelona's a nice city.
This guy here
I'm
is
there,
balling.
bro.
You know he was what's it called? Diplomatic community, yeah. He's one of them guys.
I got the passport, bruv. I can't be touched. That listen, it's exciting. It is exciting. I get it, but it is exciting. It is exciting in a way.
I'm
It's a
clipping this,
change.
yeah,
And
sending it
if
to
you're not
Rants
open to the change,
and
then
seeing what he's saying.
boy.
Well, you know, I mean, it's a ticket. You reckon say, oh, Arsenal, etc. At the end of the day, yeah. When you've been out of Champions League for a period of time, you understand what it feels like to go to these good places, like
Trust
good
me.
clubs,
Trust
good
me.
See,
clubs. Not
this is how I know
compared to that,
Arsenal
yeah.
are just one of them
Not
vibes
going to
clubs. You're just
Ireland
happy to
midweek
be
on a
there.
Thursday night in some
Yeah, I
place,
was there, bro.
some small sheep roads, bruv.
You say you're playing at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You're like, what's going on here?
Oh man, see, you guys don't even want that competition. You guys want the easy life. Look at this, man.
What do you mean?
Easy, man.
Competitive
You talk
guys.
like you want a hard life. You talk like you want a hard life. Get out of here, man.
The hard life involves like going to these Stokes and these places. Like, it's,
But did they say the Premier League? Are they saying they're coming out the Premier League as well?
Listen,
huh?
Did they say they're coming out the Premier League as well?
but they said they might. There's rumors that they might field weaker teams for the Premier League. But if you gave me the option of going to lovely Barcelona or to Madrid midweek or going to windy Stoke City, nah, big man, I'm
Come on, bro. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Be honest
out of
with yourself,
here.
bro.
Imagine.
Be honest with yourself.
Bro,
You're
you got to be
cockney
honest
red
with
anyway.
yourself.
I don't know why you're talking so much. You're cockney red anyway.
Huh? I'm a what?
You're cockney red, isn't it? You know, you're
Listen,
talking like.
I go to football matches. Like, I don't understand this. I go to football matches.
Which football matches you go to? When's the last time you go to Old Trafford?
Football games, bruv.
What, in Old Trafford?
Yes, I do.
When?
The last one I went to was with actually Changi when Maureen come back to flipping United. So that was last year.
Man said Maureen.
Maureen, you know.
Said Maureen.
That guy got fired today. Thank God, bro.
Yeah,
actually, no,
but
I'm sad. Actually, I'm sad because that guy was just sending Tottenham to hell,
like
he does with every team.
I'm not sad. I wanted him to stay and just.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. I'm sad that he's gone. I'm sad he's gone.
Oh shit!
He was just finishing the club. Anyways, we'll digress. For me, it's sad about this world of football, but we'll see. Maybe it's a brand new chapter which we're yet to see and fully explore, and hopefully it's rosy at the end of it all. I hope so. And the idea that you said about them pumping money into universities and even countries to have really good.
Listen, that's not guaranteed, but if that's the case, it would be great
Realistically, that's everything I've just said because
there's going to be bare roadman in uni though. Jeez, it's going to be crazy. Yeah. It's going to be crazy. Bare roadman in uni. It's going to go off. Like,
imagine the roadman that didn't make it who were ballers, yeah? Later.
Sitting there. Durham, you know. Good luck. Man's trapping on the side, you know.
No comment. No comment, yo, man. No, I don't know anybody that participates in such activities.
Yes.
Nice, man. Listen, lads, it's been emotional, man. It's been a good conversation.
Indeed. Kwame, anyways, Mr. Taylor Different. Guys, as you can see across the bottom, scrolling across the bottom, Taylor Different on IG. Give Taylor Different a follow at Taylor Different on the IG. Follow Kwame personally at Kwame at KBwedu1 across the bottom again on the IG. We look forward to seeing what's to come, man. Lev3ls also is trying to develop something on the e-commerce front as well. So you never know. Hopefully, we can probably work on something together.
No, man, there's always going to be with the collaboration, man.
Yeah, man, 100%. 100%. But yeah, Taylor Different. The African brothers who will watch this anyway later on as well. Definitely check it out. Those who are getting married, check it out as well because it's not just the kaftans and stuff like that. It's just an African wear. There are just general tailors for suits, plain suits.
Not suits. You got that. We've got a little bit for everybody. I'm thinking about this type of women's that may be coming soon. Not going to speak too much about that one just yet, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff to come.
There you go, guys. So next African billionaire sitting next to us right now, guys. Listen, man's gonna be buying up flipping Arsenal next week.
Listen,
Get
And he's
out
gonna
of
be
there.
there on this flipping Super League.
there is an outlier. There is. I think he's actually a Nigerian billionaire. That he said that he wants to buy Arsenal, but they're not listening to him.
Do you know how gassed Arsenal were? Arsenal
Yeah, but
was so gassed when they had that news.
Yeah, but he's.
But also think about a black owner in Premier League.
For the club for black people. I don't care. I call Arsenal the 4 black supporters club. For the London Mandem club. That's what Arsenal FC is.
Listen, Arsenal's the Mandem club. Yeah.
From south, from south to bloody north.
Yeah.
When you lot were like doing 1 in 1 out up north, we were having 6 or 7 players in the squad. Yeah. The squaddy was deep, bro. You know what I mean? Bro, remember, they were doing 1 in 1 out up there. You could stop the black man in Man U.
That's a spot, like, the blackie.
Genuinely. So we don't even want to get into that. And Liverpool as well, they've got, listen, John Barnes, 1 man, that was it. Let me ask you a question. Tell me 1 prolific black player that came through Liverpool. Apart from John Barnes. I mean, no, you can't claim that because you sold him after like 2 seasons.
Don't say you. I don't support Liverpool. I hate them. Remember, I will always hate them.
So exactly. Just off the top of your memory. Just 1.
Daniel Sturridge weren't bad. Glenn Johnson weren't bad either.
Prolific. Prolific. So,
Phil Bam.
So, should I go? Bro, we've had a list of prolific players, bro. Black folks as well. So when I look on the TV when I was young and I'm looking for someone that looks like me.
Who looks like me?
There were several people that looked like me. Come on. There were several people, man. David Rocastle. What do you mean? Look, he's gonna where's your camera, bro?
The level show is terminated for tonight.
Yes, yeah, it's all right though. I still like Man United. I still appreciate what they've done to British football. So
I appreciate what they've done, but they can get out of here, man.
Low key, one of my favorite players ever is actually an Arsenal player. I'm not even gonna lie.
Of course.
But I guess you never guess who it is. Who? Actually, tell her it's not that hard. Go on, guess.
Vieira.
Nope.
Who? Ian Wright.
Dennis the Menace, fam.
Dennis Bergkamp.
Different gravy.
You see that? Ran out the whole list of black people. They went for bloody Dutch.
But legit speaking. I wish I could get around on this show. Do you know how good Dennis Bergkamp is, bro?
No, he was levels. He was levels.
No offense. I legit think he made Thierry Henry look better than he actually was.
No way.
Look at the slander.
See, look, so hard. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't care. Uncle Ian was even saying, "Look, Dennis made my life easy." He said it.
Yeah, but he was a very specific type of player there.
Who? Dennis Bergkamp. He's a number 10. Ian, he's a goal scorer. That's it. He's a goal scorer. He's an out and out ruthless goal scorer. He needs somebody to put on a plate for him. So the person who made it easy for him was Dennis the Menace. If you look at a lot of Thierry Henry's goals, the setup from Dennis the Menace, cold. He's even still to this day scored one of the rudest goals I've ever seen in my life. When he did that touch around Dabby's ass and Newcastle.
That goal was rude. That goal was very rude.
Bro, I screamed.
It was a shove as well. It was a shove to the ground. I love it.
I still scream.
I was like, yes.
Get out of here. Back away from me.
That was you know what I'm saying? You're just not on my level. You are not on my level.
No. That goal was
like he had him up in the
I was just like, guy.
He palmed him off, minor thing. So
listen,
for me,
in today's game, that would have been called a foul, you know.
It would have been called a foul.
It would have been called a foul. No, today it would have been called a foul today. If you look back at it when you get a chance, like they would have called a foul on him.
No, 100%. Look at the Tottenham goal that got this, or Man United goal that got disallowed against Tottenham when Fletcher just palmed, not Fletcher, McTominay palmed off the guy, and the guy was running on the floor like he'd been palmed in his face.
This is why the Super League is coming in it, obviously. You know what I mean?
Bro, that's not going to change.
I hope that they change it a little bit, 100, because VAR is killing my life. I can't.
Let Pogba come live in London, innit? Let him live like a decent life in London. Yeah, because he's up north getting hella discrimination. And it's like
they don't treat him right. Remember when we had Ransom on the show? They don't treat him right up there. They don't rate him. Like Gary Neville, you know, Gary Neville, can
you imagine?
Gary Neville trying to talk about Pogba's level. Gary Neville.
It's actually quite foul, actually.
That guy, listen, in today's game, Gary Neville wouldn't even get into a second league club on today's standards.
He would be put in split.
Gary Neville would not make it on the level of football that's out there today. He would not make it, and he's out there trying to wash his mouth on good players. Yeah, out there.
I would also get smoked as well. Roy Keane. Roy Keane will get absolutely
smoked. And I love how they talk up the things, but they will get smoked.
Yeah. In my day, if I was playing today, I'll do this. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't even get near these guys, bro.
That man ran on intimidation. Remember Razor Ruddock?
Yeah, madman.
How did them man get into the league? This goes to show what, like, it goes back to my conversation about what these men have done for the game. Because remember, them man, it was Razor Ruddock and all them man that were getting spotlight.
Wimbledon and a crazy guy. Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones. And think about where the Premier League is now. It's insane. Like, so give credit where credit is due, and if them man want to tear away, let them tear away, man. It is what it is. I'm going to Turin on a Wednesday night. Thank you.
Oh my God, this guy, bro.
You
know what? Actually, when it's Man United, also on a more regular basis,
you know what I mean? A quick pizza.
Listen, I'm at the Emirates. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the Emirates in their way end, trying for Man United.
Wow, this guy's crazy.
Tottenham.
That's right.
Fuck, am I going to Tottenham Hotspur ground for?
I don't know about that, mate.
What's it called? White Lane.
Yeah.
Have they named it White Hart Lane again, or they just named it Tottenham Hotspur ground?
I don't know. You know.
No one cares.
I'm not sure.
Who cares? Exactly. Who cares? Nobody actually cares about Tottenham.
No one actually cares about that. It's really bad, you know, because I know there's a Tottenham supporter watching somewhere just cussing, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is
guys,
what it is.
Thank you, Kwame. Again, we'll hopefully be working together soon. We'll continue to obviously promote you and share the stuff that you do. Guys, also please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Trying to get up to 200 followers. This is our next goal on this. You guys have been amazing thus far. Follow us obviously as well on the IG, going across the bowl at New Levels on the IG and the Twitter. And yeah, next week we have sneakerheads, trainerheads. Sorry, not sneakerheads, trainerheads next week. So obviously it's going to be sneaker talk about the sneaker culture in the UK. I hate saying sneakers, the training culture in the UK, all of that good stuff. And then a week after that, we've got a good mutual friend of all three of ours, Mr. JJ Bowler, is going to be
JJ Bowler.
Days in 2 weeks.
The intellectual, man.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a very different kind of conversation.
Bro, this guy used to be, we would go to Manchester or some crazy ass country place, and we'd like on the court, it'd be just dunking on man. And then he'd be on the bus, very chill, just right. And I'm like, this guy, that's when I knew he's like a Jekyll and Hyde. He will put one on your head and then sit quietly and just be like, you wouldn't even know.
And write a novel.
Yeah.
So
today I threw down a tomahawk on this guy's head.
It was pristine.
It was pristine. Like, you know what I mean? He'd be writing about it on the way back on the bus. Yeah, that guy is.
The room JJ, love you, bro.
No, he's a G, man. He is a G. I can't wait for that story.
Shout out Levels. Shout out YouTube. Yeah. It's been a great
Safe,
conversation.
man.
Thanks for having me.
Love, man.
I hope
Thank
it continues to grow. I hope the whole platform continues to grow. Bigger.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Thank you
Sick.
so much.
Sick,
Anyways,
man.
guys, that is us for tonight. Again, as I said, please follow us, follow Kwame, show some love to Taylor Different, and we are out until next week. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace, man.
Learn life.
There's levels to the shit.